Hey everyone, Annabeth Chase123 here. Now, the reason why I'm making this video on Dere Archetypes and what I think of them is because I've been meaning to touch on a review of Inuyasha. However, a lot of my review on Inuyasha has to do with the Dere Dere character concept, which Kagome falls into and was a really weak part of the show for me. So, since we're on that topic, let's start with Dere Deres. For those non-anime fans watching, Dere Deres are basically the goody two-shoes of the anime world. They're polite, they're kind, they have no darkness in them whatsoever, or if they do, it's so minor they can just bury it all they want. Now, the reason why I'm not a big fan of this archetype is because, for the main reason, it kind of makes me and probably any other girl who's, well, normal, feel a bit insecure. Especially when we go onto our anime sites and it's all blowing up about how Dere Deres are the best type of girls, and us yanderes and tsunderes are just sitting back going, not exactly. The reason why I say Dere Deres are a bit too good to be true is because, well, every single good anime I've watched that has a Dere Dere in it, even not in anime, just in animation in general, the Dere Dere has often made things worse. Since Inuyasha is the show I'm building up to review here, I'll start with Inuyasha and Kagome. Now, warning, spoilers. This video will contain spoilers if you haven't finished all 166 episodes of Inuyasha and a fair amount of Inuyasha, the final act. That out of the way. Kagome is a goody two-shoes. She's so good that when a minion of Naraku tried to possess her by using the darkness in her heart, it kind of didn't work. And he had to use a little fragment of jealousy she had towards Kikyo to possess her. Now, that being said, the whole Kikyo, Kagome, Inuyasha love triangle, Kagome, not only did she make things worse for herself, but she also made things worse for Inuyasha. Let me explain. In one of the late episodes of Inuyasha, Naraku kills Kikyo. Well, kills, I should say. She comes back in a few episodes. And she comes back because as Kagome's passing where she's trying to rest and she's dying of the miasma that's coming out of her, she jumps in the river and basically gives it her all to save Kikyo. And then Kikyo ends up dying around episode 6 of the final act of Inuyasha, the final act. Now, here's how saving Kikyo made things worse for herself and Inuyasha. First of all, I think making things worse for herself is pretty obvious. She saved her love rival. I mean, who frickin' does that? I mean, maybe I'm just saying this because I'm a yandere/yangiri, but how stupid do you have to be to save your love rival? I mean, it's just common sense. Love rival? You don't save them. You get rid of them and hide the body. That's what you do with a love rival. Anyway, however, for Inuyasha, it made it worse for him because he had to lose Kikyo twice and not just once. 2 seconds. Got it. And so, because Inuyasha lost Kikyo twice, he had to bear the pain of losing her 2 times. And if you watch Inuyasha and Inuyasha the final act, you will see that he's more devastated when he loses Kikyo the second time than the first time. That's mainly because if any of you have lost someone, you know how painful it can be. Yeah, imagine going through that twice. Yeah, that's what Kigome put Inuyasha through because she just couldn't walk away from Kikyo spewing out miasma everywhere in that pool. I know that's not what she meant to do, but that's what ended up happening. Now, I know some people say, well, oh, that's just Kagome. Kagome was pretty dumb anyways. Nope. Nagisa from Clannad. And please don't shoot me for saying this. I love Clannad. It's one of my favorite animes. I bawled like a kid watching it. However, and yes, the way Nagisa made things worse didn't really affect the story for me. However, she still made things worse if you look at it a certain way. Because Tomoya knew she was weak. Her parents knew she was weak. Her friends knew she was weak. It would be a stretch to say that she didn't know she was weak. So, all she could have done was sat Tomoya down. They could have talked out the possible risks of having a child, and then he wouldn't have gone into a depression for 5 years. 5 years? Or was it 4 years? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it was 5 years. No, wait, it was 4 years. Yushio was 4. Yeah, 4 years. But no, she did not have that conversation with Tomoya. I know she was an optimist and all, but however, even if you're an optimist, you gotta also be realistic. Like, if your body's weak and you feel like you might die due to giving birth, you really should tell the person, you really should tell your loved ones. So, it's not a shock to them when you kneel over. Like, in Inuyasha, everything ended up, well, in Clannad. However, that's my basic thought about Dere Deres. Okay. My next dare I'm going to touch upon is tsundere. Tsunderes are a wee bit more relatable than Dere Deres. Tsunderes are when a girl acts really tough and mean on the outside, but when you get to know her, she's a big softie. Characters like this are characters like Taiga, Louise, Christ, I know more. Inuyasha's a tsundere. Mion Sonozaki from Higurashi. There are so many tsunderes out there, I couldn't possibly count them all. My thought on tsunderes is that I like them. They're relatable, and also they have comic relief. The comic relief factor. Like, they're not my favorite dare archetype, but I can see why people would like a tsundere character. The next archetype I'm going to talk about is a dandere. Danderes are basically the really shy characters, and once you get to know them, they're really nice and kind and all that. I haven't really seen any animes with any danderes in them. I've heard Naruto is one with Hinata, and I like Hinata, so yeah, I'm cool with the whole dandere archetype. The next one is very similar to dandere, called kudere. Kudere is just when you act cold and emotionless. Reasons are usually not given why somebody acts cold and emotionless. That's usually just part of their character. But however, when you get to know them, they're actually really good people. Kuderes involve Kanade, Maud from My Little Pony. Yes, I referenced My Little Pony in a frickin' anime video. Deal with it. Kudere. Who else would be a Kudere? Kuderes are very rare archetypes, and I don't want to label any characters who I'm not sure about being Kudere because Kudere can easily be mistaken for Dere. It's really quite complicated between those two. Although it is not as complicated as the two archetypes I'm going to mention, Yongiri and Yandere. Yongiri and Yandere derive from the same meaning, sick love. However, there is one key difference between a Yongiri and a Yandere. The Yongiri go psycho because, not due to love, but because of any other inflicting factors that are going on with their life. The Yandere, on the other hand, is purely love-oriented. Like, you touch their man, then people are not going to hear from you again. If you see a girl who looks nice and innocent and doesn't seem to have any problems, and she's walking with a guy, if you see that guy and he looks at you, you better move to the other side of the street, because that alone could set up off of Yandere's, okay, I'm going to murder this bitch. Who knows, it could be an honest Dere. If it's a Dere, please take a photo and share it, because I want to examine it. My boyfriend's a Dere, however, I don't want to put him through scrutinous scientific tests, so I need a test guinea pig if you know any Deres out there. Yanderes are my favorite because they're the most relatable, because even though I said that they go crazy from love, all the Yanderes in the good animes, none of the Yanderes, all in the bad animes, cough, school days, cough, cough, have this, but most Yanderes have come to the conclusion that, my senpai is being talked to by a girl, she must be offed, comes from either a mental disorder or the way they were raised or just traumatic events that have happened to them, and they don't know how to deal with it. So I think that's very well written. Okay, that was anime archetypes. I'll try to release an Inuyasha review soon, and in that I will refer to this video. See you on the next video. Live long and prosper.